CrossFit Milford, what is going on? We're back here on the CrossFit Milford Quick Cast. I want to talk about a training principle very quickly that is very important to keep in mind. And what that is individual differences. Now, inside individual differences, there's inter-individual differences and intra-individual differences. So let me get into that real quick. We're going to start with just that individual. Now, everybody's different, right? From our training age, our biological age, to our anatomical build, to the proper exercise selection. So what's important to keep in mind is that if you have a targeted specific goal, you have to keep in mind that what works really well for this person over here may not work really well for you. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's no need to go down some deep rabbit hole of comparison. We just have to keep in mind that everybody is different. And when you're looking at training and driving a stimulus to create adaptation, you have to look at our ability to have quality sleep, to have good nutritional plan set up, proper hydration, proper movement quality, what's our limb length, what's our body weight, how much stress we're putting on our body inside and outside the gym, what's the proper barbells utilized, what's the proper exercises, tempos. All this stuff matters when trying to drive a very targeted, specific result. Now, on the flip side, with inside an individual person, what worked really well for you last year, 2 years, 3 years ago may not work really well for you now. And why is that? Because there's so many different things that are happening in our lives. There's so much more stress that could have been put into our lives, right? That the amount of stress, volume, the amount of total workload, the total amount of chronic and acute stress that we need or can handle is going to be different. Our minimal essential strain and our maximum recoverable volume have thus changed. So when you're looking at a targeted specific goal for yourself, and it's super specific, you need to get very specific with your training. And there's two ways to go about that. If you're taking the classes at CrossFit Milford, that's why it's so important to keep in mind about what weights you're utilizing, how much weight you're putting on the barbell in order to properly progress that. Talk to the coach if a movement doesn't feel well. If you have proper movement limitations just due to tightness or history of what you've been through, make sure the coach understands that so the exercise selection can be targeted for you and what you need from an upper body and a lower body perspective. And if you want even a more thorough approach to that, that's when you want to get into personal training or program design. Either one is going to work. Just get targeted with what you're doing in order to know how to progress it properly. See you guys later.